All right, so this should be pretty fun. I don't think I've ever done an episode like this before, and I don't know if I'm ever going to do one again. This is one episode where it's going to be a little bit more of a motivational pick me up. I know we all oftentimes need that quick little boost of external motivation. I'm a firm believer of having motivation be internal, being intrinsic, and not depending on external motivation. I do understand there's still oftentimes where we do want to hear somebody else be in our corner and someone else to give us that little boost to get out of some of those tough times. So this episode is going to be one of those that's a little bit more tuned towards that. So it's not going to be as much tactical this time. Still a little bit, but not as much tactical this time. But this episode, we're going to focus on why you shouldn't waste your life and focusing on embracing gratitude, positivity, why you should, how you should, and then just about 2 tips in this one. But most of it's going to be a little bit more motivational. So welcome back to Motivate, Grind, Succeed, the podcast, the show that helps you to systemize success in the 4 foundational pillars of faith, fellowship, fitness, and finance through high performance habits. My name is Rasean. I am your host, as well as your favorite internet neurotransformation coach. And today's episode is inspired by the idea that life is truly amazing, even with its challenges. So life is truly, truly incredible. It starts off from the whole idea of birth. The fact that you are here, the fact that you were able to be the one cell that won the race, to be born into this world, to have the skills that you do, the talents that you possess, to impact people for the greater is absolutely immense. The fact that you are you, and there will never be, there has not been a you, and there will never be a you exactly like you ever in this world is insane. Absolutely insane. Even people who are twins, even they have, who look identical twins, even they have different personalities. So no one will ever be exactly like you to a T. It can't happen. And yet we walk around life all the time and focus on the challenges and focus on the negativity. And I understand the brain is wired that way, but that's the reaction. That's what the brain is wired to do. But you have the choice to have a response. And so what you can do is you can focus on the amazing aspects of life. And I understand life is not perfect. There are good and there are bad moments. But even amidst the challenges, whatever it is that you are facing, there are many, many, many things to be grateful for. One example is the advancements in technology. We have our phones. We have Wi-Fi on planes. We have just Wi-Fi in general. You have the ability to listen to me, to watch me, to hear me or watch me. You have internet. You have the capability to tune into something. You have the ability, you're sitting down, you're alive, you're breathing. The things we take for granted today are insane. Think back just, let's say, 100 years. Think back to what life was like 100 years ago compared to now. It's completely shifted, completely changed. Compared to 100 years ago, we have life as a cakewalk, but yet we still focus on the negative. Again, that's what the brain is wired to do, but you have the capability to do different. Personal example, at the time that you're listening to this episode, right, I'm working a corporate job and I'm doing all these kind of things and doing this thing on the side. But at the time of recording, I was still unemployed and going on a stint of about 8 months of unemployment. So now I can go and I can be upset and I can be focusing on the negativity of I'm unemployed, I ain't got nothing coming in, the job let me go, no. Or I could focus on, okay, I have this period of time where I don't have to clock in. I live in the USA where I could just go and say, okay, I'm unemployed, I was laid off, and then I can get some unemployment money coming in to help offset some costs. And now I have back 8, 10, 12 hours in a day where I can focus on bringing more value and content to the show and being able to grow it in the meantime. You have a choice. I can focus on the negative of what I don't have, or I can focus on the positives of what I do. But again, that is a choice, a conscious choice. And I chose to live with the gratitude of saying thank you, not thank you that I got laid off, but thank you that I now have the time to be able to concentrate on this project that I'm working on, to concentrate and work on this podcast, to work on everything and all the subsidiaries of it. I have more time to do that. I had more time to take business trips and to meet up with people. I had more time to be able to help other people out in the business space. I wouldn't have been able to do that to nearly the same degree had I been working that entire time. So for me, yes, I know I didn't have a job. I wasn't making nearly as much money from unemployment, but I still chose to be grateful for the money that was coming in. All the bills were still being paid. I didn't go into any unnecessary debt. Everything was still being paid for, no problem. And I still had money left over to go do fun activities, like go out to eat with friends and go off to Top Golf and do all these kind of things. I still had funds to do that. But because I was grateful, and because, of course, there was other things in place, obviously, before, but because I was grateful for those things, and I was grateful that I had the time, I was able to operate completely differently from somebody who would just be living in a pity partyville. And so what I want you to do is utilizing that and realizing that life is absolutely fantastic. Despite its challenges, aim to just have a little bit of gratitude every single day. That's tip number one. Aim to have a little bit of gratitude every single day. Incremental gratitude. That will lead to an overall more positive outlook on life. Here's an example. Think about if you wanted to take a trip from New York to California. How long would that take? About 2 days by car? Now imagine if you had to walk that distance. You're looking at over a month. That's advances in technology. It sounds dumb. I know, but when you really think about it and you say, well, thank you for the car. Well, my car isn't that good. You're being negative again. You're being negative again. You have a car, don't you? If you go into the big cities, any of the big cities, I guarantee you're going to see homeless people. They don't have a car. They don't have a roof over their head, but you do. They don't have internet. You do. They don't have a bed. You do. You probably have a purple mattress, memory foam, multi-hundred thread count sheets, multiple, but they have to sleep under a bridge. This is not to make you feel bad. This is to show you that you should be grateful for what it is that you have. Do you want another bed sheet? Sure, of course, ain't nobody said you can't want that, but be thankful for what you have. So here's something I want to leave with you here, a food for thought point. Have you ever considered why it is that you don't have more? Think about it. Have you ever stopped to think, why is it that I do not have more than I already do? But Rashawn, I'm hustling, I'm grinding, I'm working 18, 20 hours a day. I ain't seeing nothing. Have you ever stopped to consider that potentially maybe it is because you are not thankful or grateful for what you already do have? Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm hustling, I'm grinding. You talk about always getting more. Yes, there's no problem with always wanting to achieve more. But at the same time, you can't overlook what you already have. No one said you can't go ahead and strive for $1 million a year business, but don't overlook the fact that you're already making $100,000 a year right now. Personal example, I'm someone, trust me, if I could get the YouTube channel to be 100,000 subscribers, that would be, oh my gosh, man, look, you probably see me break down in tears of happiness live on camera. But I'm not going to overlook the fact that at the time of this recording, I have 81 subscribers. I'm not going to overlook that. I'm not going to overlook the fact that I have 81 people who chose to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. I'm not going to overlook the fact that I have literally between 100 and 200 people that listen to me via audio on whatever platform it is you're listening on. I'm not going to overlook that fact that is what is there. And I'm thankful for every single person that listens to me. And so natural human reasoning would go to say something like this. If you're grinding, you're hustling, and you're just upset because you're not getting what you want, why would someone want to give you more? Because if you're upset at the little bit that you have right now, why would somebody want to give you more? You're just going to get more upset. But the opposite is also true. If they are so thankful for this little bit, imagine how much happier they'll be with more. So think about this. If someone already has a lot and they have a certain expectation, let's say of food, they expect Michelin star dining, delicious food, comes out slightly charred, just ever so slightly charred. That person might get upset and say, why is my food burnt? I demand the best. They're not grateful for the food. But you give that exact same food to somebody who's homeless and hasn't eaten for 3 days, I guarantee you they ain't gonna care that it's charred at all. They're gonna be incredibly thankful that they have a meal to eat. It's the same meal, but the person who received it was different. They were in different positions. One person was grateful, one person was not. Fast forward this to life. Life is the same for everybody. We all have ups, we all have downs. But what you focus on, which is my second tip for you, focusing on the positive, that's what's going to yield you the big rewards. Focusing on what you do have. I could very easily look at other people in the space and say, well, that person has 200 subscribers. That person has 1,000. That person has 10,000 subscribers. That person has 15 subscribers and they're making $10,000 a month. I can focus on that, or I can just simply focus on that I am growing. I have 81. That's 81 people is more than I had last year. That's growth. Now, do I want more growth? Of course I want more growth, but it's growth. The fact that people are resonating, that's growth. That's huge. I'm choosing to focus on the positive and consciously trying to avoid the negative. Because again, the human mind loves to focus and dwell on the negatives, but it's not beneficial to us at all. What we need to focus on is the positives. Focus on what we do have. Focus on being grateful. You have so much stuff. Just take a pause. In fact, take a pause. Look around you. Look at all the things you have around you. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm looking directly at a webcam that costs over $100. I'm talking to a microphone that costs over $400. I'm looking at my computer that I have. That computer, the monitors, the keyboard, everything that I have that costs thousands of dollars. I'm looking over to the side where I have an Xbox controller and a gaming headset, and those cost hundreds of dollars. I'm looking at the bookshelf that I have where I know it's not anything crazy, it's like 7 or 8 books, but some of those books I even got for free. Gratitude. I'm thankful for those books that I have to be able to read and be able to understand. I have smart assistants. I have multiple hats. I have multiple pairs of shoes. I have multiple shirts, multiple pairs of pants. I'm looking over to, in fact, even more so. I literally just went through the process of doing a little bit of a springish cleaning of my drawers and of all the clothes that I don't wear. And I have an entire 13-gallon garbage bag of clothes that I don't wear that I can go and donate. Imagine that. So I have no right to say, man, I got nothing to wear. I'm over here donating clothes, bro. Donating bags of clothes. There's no reason why I shouldn't be grateful for what I have. I have more than what I need. So therefore, that's reason enough for me to be thankful, for me to be grateful. And being grateful allows you to receive more. Gratitude allows for you to attract more, because when you are thankful, when you are grateful, truly grateful to the core, that's when you realize that God will reward those who are grateful. When you're a good steward of what you have, you will get more, which goes back to the question that I had before, the food for thought. Have you ever considered why it is that you don't have more? Maybe potentially we could be more grateful. Again, look at all the things around you. Look at your life. Look at what you have. Focus on the positive. Look at the things that you have. You're breathing right now. You are alive. You probably have a job right now. If not, you probably have a business, or you have the capability to get a business. You have the ability to start up whatever you want to start up. Whatever you want, the world's your oyster. It's not a lack of resources, but a lack of resourcefulness. Whatever you want to accomplish, you can do it, but you need to want it. You need to focus on what you do have, work with what you have until you get what you want. Don't waste your life. You only have one of it. Make it the best that you can. Watch this as often as you need to, understand what you need to, and don't waste your life. Be grateful for what you have so that way you can be able to receive more. And that's what I have for you for this episode, guys. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you implement something. Take care, and I will see you all in the next episode. And guys, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Motivate, Grind, Succeed, the podcast. Guys, again, if you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe to the show for weekly uploads. If you love what you heard, be sure to sign up for that email list. And if you hated what you heard, be sure to share it with somebody who will appreciate it. Also, if you guys want to get access to the show notes or any kind of resource or link or to anything that was referenced in this episode, be sure to check out that episode description below. You'll also find the contact information, any freebies, or any sort of thing from our little corner of the internet. Check out the episode description. It's going to be an absolute gold mine for you guys. Until next time, take care, and I will see you in the next episode.